Premo versus Sculpey III. Let's get ready to rumble! Hey guys, Stephanie with Steffy Jewels, the spot for crafters, jewelry makers, and the do-it-yourselfers. And in today's versus, ding ding ding, we are going with Premo versus Sculpey III. Now, as you can see right here on my screen, they look exactly the same or almost the same, meaning they both have the word Sculpey on it. This one says Sculpey and this one says Sculpey. But the only difference is right here, this one, and let me focus that real quick. This one says Premo and this one says Sculpey III. Now, before we even get started with this versus video, I just want to put out there that I am still a beginner. I am learning about Sculpey III, Premo, Polymer clay, the whole 9 yards. So if you want to see some real experts on the clay, that I will leave links down below of those videos of those individuals that I found, that I follow, and that I follow through and look at their videos. But this video is dedicated to the beginners such as me and anyone out there who's probably just now getting into polymer clay and wants to figure out how this works. So today we're going to work on what's the difference between Premo versus Sculpey III. So for starters, let's just look at the colors. Well, right here. So right now, I'm going to do it. As you can see, these two are black. So it is Premo and Sculpey III. Same color, looks the same. Over here we have red. Now on my camera it looks kind of orange, but if you look here on the thing, I'm not sure if I can show that. It will show, this one says cadmium red. And then this one right here is kind of breaking up, can't see it, but it says red right there. So it says red right there. So that's red. Once again, Premo and Sculpey III. Same company, but different shades of color. Right here, the same thing. This one is Premo, and the color here is called Cobalt Blue. So it has a name up here, Cobalt Blue. Let me get a little closer. Oh, can I focus? There we go, Cobalt Blue. And this is Premo. And then this one right here, Sculpey III, and this right here is the actual, oops, sorry, blue. So there you go, it says blue. Move it on to the next colors. This one is yellow. We got Premo, and this is called zinc yellow. Right there. I should have got autofocus on this thing. Let's see if I can get it. Sorry guys, I'm trying to focus it on here, but it's not focusing. But okay, so that one says zinc yellow, which is Premo. And this one is just regular yellow. So right now, as you can see right now with the Sculpey are the actual real color. So this one is yellow, true yellow. This one is true blue. And this one is true red. So these three brands are all Sculpey. And of course, you have your whites. This one's Premo. And this one is Sculpey III, both white. So the only colors that are actually the same no matter what brand it is the Premo, white, and black. So yeah, so here's the Premo. That is black and white. And here's the Sculpey III that's black and white. So it's the same color. The only thing that's different is this right here. Where we at? Sculpey III. These are the true colors. Yellow, red, and blue. And then these are another type of colors. Now, these colors are what they call artist colors, which means if you're a painter or someone who does a lot of artwork, then you will recognize these colors more. This is like, I guess they call it true red, true blue, and true yellow. Whereas these right here are what they call like the kindergarten colors that you see in the crayon box, the yellow, red, and blue. But artists like to use these true colors because this is their true color. So what can you do with Premo or Sculpey? Basically the same thing. You can condition it the same way, you can mold it the same way, you can bake it the same way. However, the properties between Premo and Sculpey are a little bit different. So let's start working with Premo and Scupley III. Okay, so I am back, and we're going to work with conditioning two colors. We're going to start with the lighter color first, which is why I have the yellow and white, and then we're going to work our way down to the darker colors. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is if you do not have a modified pasta machine, which is what I'm working with today, and I got that from Ed Streets or Ed Colors, and I'll leave a video down below or in the description up here in the corner so you can check out that video of that unboxing. But for this video purposes, I'm just going to act like I don't have a modified machine. And the reason why I said modified machine is because when you're working with clay, if you don't have the modified machine, meaning you can actually take the blades out and clean them, then you'll start having these darker colors transferring on your lighter colors. So for those who do not have an Ed Streets or Ed Colors pasta machine that's modified, or any machine that's modified, meaning you can take out the blades, then you want to work from light to dark. So that way your light colors will transfer on your darker ones and not vice versa. So let's go ahead and start with the white. So I'm going to go ahead and open up these two blocks, and we're going to condition it and see what the difference is. So let me take this out and let me go ahead and condition these two. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I went ahead and took out one block of each, which is basically taking these lines here and just slicing up one. So this one right here is Premo, and this one is Sculpey. And you really can't tell for the camera because of the light, but when you look at it in person, the Premo is a little bit brighter than the Sculpey III. Now I wanted to show this first before I actually went to the pasta machine because I wanted to show you the difference right now. So here's Premo. So if I try to squeeze this real quick, you can see that's kind of hard to squeeze. Well, actually maybe not because it's kind of warm in the room. But this is Premo, how it's kind of easy to smush and condition in my hand. And that's what I kind of learned about it with Premo. Premo is easier to work with. It's the recommended brand for all beginners or any professional. So that right there, like it squishes very easy in my hands. And that's Premo. Now here is Sculpey III. Now Sculpey III is also easy to condition, but it conditions a lot faster. See right here, this one already got flat within a few seconds that I just did it. So here is a little bit tougher, a little bit firmer, which makes it perfect for making, I guess, canes with and other sculpting projects. I'm not quite familiar with that stuff. I'm still learning that, but I will make videos on that as I'm learning that process too. But yeah, Premo takes a little bit longer to condition, but it's still manageable to do it. Whereas Sculpey III, it is really soft, really squishy, and like I said, it's pretty much already flat. And you can just take your roller right here, and like I said, it just conditions really easy. So this right here is the Sculpey III. So there is Sculpey III, and then here is Premo. So let me go ahead and condition that one real quick. I'm just doing my roller right now instead of the pasta machine, like I said. But yeah, there is Premo. So right here, and I'm sure you can tell. Let me see if I can compare the two here. But right now, let me scoot that back a little bit so you can see. Whoops. Scoot it back a little bit. So right here, you can kind of see that, yeah, this right here is very soft and easy to do. I mean, it's really soft. And they say that when you do Sculpey III, it's not very ideal for a lot of items, especially if you're trying to make like earrings or any type of jewelry making or cabochon, well not cabochon, but just anything jewelry that you might need it where it won't break. So this is very soft, and the more I touch it, the softer it gets here. So yeah, that is like really squishy. And then this is Premo. So Premo is more for anybody who wants to work on something that you need a little more toughness to it. But that is conditioning Premo versus Sculpey. Now let's get to actually molding it and making something, and I'm going to use another color. So let me go ahead and get this color out, and I'll come right back. Okay guys, so I went ahead and conditioned these two clays in my pasta machine. This one right here will be the Premo, this one will be the Sculpey III. I'm not sure if you can tell on the camera, but this one looks a lot yellower, and this one is not. So I just did this on my thickest setting, which if you want to see how that works, then I'll leave a video up above here as well, or the link down below how you can do it. I'm just going to take this little cookie cutter that I got from Tiny Pandora, which is one of the clay artists that I follow. So definitely check out her video and her website because she got a lot of cool stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my pieces here so you can see the difference. So this right here. And I'm actually cutting on actual tile because I'm going to bake these on the tile. So it just makes it easier to do that. So I'm just going to press down on there and then just kind of remove the excess because I don't need that. And keep scraps because from what I heard, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with your scraps. So I'm just going to push that right there. And then there it goes, that shape. So that is Premo right there. I'm going to do the same thing with Sculpey 3. So I'm just going to press down on it. And then move the excess around from it. Keep these scraps. And then right there. So you can still do the exact same thing with Premo or Sculpey. They cut the same, but where it really becomes different is when you start baking these. So the next one is I'm finna bake these. So I'm finna actually bake these. And I did not mention that earlier in the video, but I'll bring out one of these other clays. Both Premo and Sculpey have the exact same temperatures on clay. Where's the thing? Let me get one so I can see the thing here. Yeah, they both say 275. You can find a temperature on the end of the actual clay right here. So let me see if I can bring it up right here so you can see it. So it says 275 Fahrenheit or 130 Celsius, 15 minutes per 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter. Honestly, I don't even know what that means. And I have followed a lot of Facebook groups who said that they actually follow the directions on the package. But once you start looking at videos such as from Tiny Pandora or Turtle Soup Beads or Just Made tutorials, you'll find out that all of them bake their pieces at about an hour. So I will use the temperature here. Like I said, both Sculpey and Premo 3 have the same temperature. They're both 275. So I can put both of these together at the same temperature and let it bake for 175. Now, I'm just going to use a toaster oven that I have here in my room. Make sure that you also have an oven thermometer in it so you can make sure that it don't fluctuate. So let me go ahead and bake this and we'll see the difference between Premo versus Sculpey on baking. Stay tuned. Watch your thermometer as temperatures can rise higher than the recommended baking time on your clay. Also, by using a foil like tin helps prevent your pieces from burning or cooking too fast. Okay guys, so here are the results after baking the Premo or Sculpey 3. Now I went ahead and did another one off the camera of a more thicker setting so you can kind of see the difference. I just kind of made something funky, you know, 4th of July is coming up, so I figured why not. So this right here is Sculpey 3 and it's a little bit thicker as you can see. I basically use this mold right here just to kind of press some colors into it. And this is just basically a resin mold. So you could use it for clay or resin. So it's 2 for 1. But I just basically kind of pushed some clay in here and then did some star cut shapes with these little cuts here. And I will put both this as well as this listed down below where you can get this item from. Just a disclaimer, I am part of the Amazon Associate Program, so any links or products that I do mention on this video, I do earn a small commission, so I just want to go ahead and give you a heads up. But I just basically took some clay, cut it, and that's where these stars come from. So now let's do the ultimate test. Now, the reason why a lot of beginners, including myself, or anybody who's been advanced doing clay will tell you not to use Sculpey 3 is because Sculpey 3 is known to be very brittle. As you can see right here, this is very thin, whereas this one is very thick. Now, I normally won't even do this, but for this video, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to take this Sculpey 3 and 0.3 bin. It's very brittle, so that's why you see a lot of folks say do not use Sculpey 3 as a beginner because they're very brittle. So if you was to make this into something like earrings or a pendant, if you know, especially if you're trying to sell these items, if someone was to drop this piece right here, it will break in half. Now, for this Sculpey 3, it's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to see if I can actually bend this and break it. So I'm trying to break it, and actually the pieces on top actually broke a little because it's, you know, I didn't really put it on it, but I'll probably glaze if I was to do it. But if you use Sculpey 3, you can use it for like cabochons or thicker settings. So right here, see how thick it is compared to this one? You can see really close that, yeah, this one and Let me make sure it's clear. Yeah, this one's a little bit thicker than this. So yeah, Sculpey 3 is still usable if you make thicker pieces. However, if you're trying to make thin pieces, it will break. So that's why you hear a lot of pros or veterans out there say, do not use Sculpey 3 because it's very brittle if you're making jewelry. But like I said, for a pendant, this right here, I'm dropping it. It's not breaking. It's pretty thick. You really have to like use a sledgehammer to break this. So Sculpey 3 works fine for thicker projects, not for thinner projects. Now let's do the test with Premo. So this is Premo. So I'm going to try to bend this, and hopefully if I bake this long enough, it should not break. And see here, it doesn't break. Now, if you notice it is very flexible right now. So it is got a little flex to it. And that's okay. Based on what I've been learning as a beginner in polymer clay, you want to have a little flexibility in your clay, especially with Premo. Now, it should not be that flexible where it breaks like it does with Sculpey 3. But with Premo, and I think other clay as well, like Fimo and Kato, there is a little flexibility into it because it has plastic. Clay has plastic. That's why when you warm it up or cook it in the oven, you basically melting the plastic. So yes, it's supposed to have a little bending. Now, if you don't want that bending, filled-in, or that bendable look, or the bendable way goes, you can actually take UV resin or epoxy resin, whatever your choice, and just kind of glaze over it. And that way it'll be harder and it won't bend. Now here is the same thing I made with a Premo. And if I do the same thing, it doesn't even bend. Even the tops of the stars, I'm actually bending it and it's not flaking off. So as you saw how these right here was flaking off when I was just trying to bend it because it was on the right, this one baked very well. And I said I'm bending it. And this one has no flexibility to it because it's thicker. So yeah, thicker pieces would not have that little give in it as it does for thinner pieces. But like I said, it's supposed to have a little give with it. So there you have it, guys. Here is Premo versus Sculpey 3. Who do you think won this challenge? Leave your comments down below. And if you found this video very helpful, make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you hit that thumbs up button, so that way you're notified on any future videos such as these right here that I do. Once again, this is Stephanie with Steffy Jewels, the spot for crafters, jewelry makers, and the do-it-yourselfers. Hope to see you soon. Bye.